Many thanks for joining us again. It's still Business Breakfast on iBrand Television. Like I did mention earlier before the break, Mark Ogu, a public affairs analyst and also publisher and editor-in-chief of African Watch Network, is now with me live, virtually though, from Lagos State, Nigeria, to give us some insight, analysis of some of the top business stories we're finding for you at this time. Mr. Mark, good morning. Thanks for being a part of the conversation today. All right, then let's get talking now. I believe you've seen some of the stories that we are going to be talking in the next few minutes. And I'll start off now with this first report that we have here coming from the National Bureau of Statistics, that's the NBS, and they are saying that Nigeria's inflation rate for the month of February actually increased by 1.8%, amounting to 31.7%. This is another astronomical increase in inflation rate that we're experiencing in the country within the short period of time. We know that inflation has definitely been on the high side even before this administration took over the reins of affairs of this country. But then again, since the president took over administration of this country, we've seen inflation skyrocketing even higher than the projections made by international and local analysts. First, I'd like to get your thoughts on this. Does this inflation figure come as a surprise to you, that one? And secondly, with a galloping inflation like we're having now, what is the hope of the common man? A bag of rice now, like when I priced this morning, it's selling at 90,000 naira in some places. Some places are already selling at 100,000 naira. One derica of rice sells for 1,500 naira. What is the hope of the common man of being a citizen of a federal republic like country like Nigeria? Your thoughts on this?
Well, thank you very much for having me. You are giving all the statistics that you need to give as a citizen Nigerian. And first and foremost, it's just a simple analysis we are producing. So if you are not producing, what do you expect? A country that is not producing, you expect the price to come down. It will come down. It is just a simple mathematics or a simple economy. And when you are not producing and you are getting things outside, or maybe in other way you are getting the debt at a very high cost, you as a producer, your price has to also go up. You remove fuel subsidy, there was no plan, there was no, of course, if I say there was no plan, it may look as if I'm attacking the government. But it seems there's no plan because you remove the fuel subsidy and there were no measures, to augment, removing the fuel, subsidy. There was no economic plan. So the effect of what we are seeing is the removal of fuel subsidy. Because as a producer, you have to transport your goods. How do you transport your goods? The transport companies and all that, they have to also increase their fare. Or even the local transport system, you have to also increase your the cost of your transporting those goods to other places. And then you want to talk about as if the government is losing foresight, because you cannot be talking about the increased inflation and all that, which has affected all production, all sector of production in the country. Because the government on their own part prefer to take advice for International Monetary Fund. And a lot of us have said, no, your focus should be more of looking in depth, not by taking advice from the International Monetary Fund, who are interested on what they can get out of the country. And that has been the problem of African countries, that they prefer international advice to local advice. And we are seeing the effect that is telling greatly on the common man on the street. How on earth are we, all Nigerians, believing that one day they're going to buy a bag of rice for 100,000 or maybe for 90,000? I don't think any Nigerian must have foreseen such a thing. But however, we knew that Buhari and their cohorts destroyed the country before they left. So President Tinubu is trying to see what he can do, to bring the economy back. But in doing that, he forgot, like I said from the beginning, he forgot that the first thing to do is not to remove subsidies. The first thing to do is, would have been to have encompassing policy plans by ensuring that all major sectors of the economy are inducted into that plan, and then they will help him to look at the loopholes and see what they can do. Before removing the first subsidy, he didn't carry stakeholders along, and now those who are beneficiaries of subsidy are fighting back. The president has even said that they are fighting back. So there are no mechanism, to forestall this kind of increase. Every day, the dollars are going up. The big boys are cashing out. Those who have dollars are not even willing to release it. The ones they release in the economy, it seems they are taking it back again to make it more scarce, and then ensure that they get, that the dollar increases better, and so they can make more profit from it. So everybody is looking for a way to make money. The local people selling, they are happy that the prices are going up. Even the old stock they have, they want to increase the price. Irrespective that they must have bought those things in a low price, now they are keeping it to inflate the price. So we're in a serious mess, and I hope that President Tinubu and the economic team will be able to deal with this situation.
I'd like to get your thoughts on this very quickly before we shift to the next story now. I was having a conversation with some friends yesterday, and we're talking about the situation of the country and looking at doing some kind of ratings of this current administration and the previous administration. And a friend of mine actually said that we should actually hope for the worst because things are not definitely going to get better with what we are seeing. And another friend actually said that he prefers that we go back to the former administration than to continue with this administration. If we were to do some performance appraiser, now that's the word I'm looking for. If we were to do some performance appraiser, would you say that the Nigerians' economy under the leadership of former President Muhammadu Buhari was far better off than what we are going through now at the moment under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even though is less than a year in the office, and with all that we're seeing, Nigerians seem to be on very, very, very impatient with him at this point in time. How would you rate the performance of this administration and that of the last?
Well, I don't want to be a prophet of doom or maybe being at the precipice. I don't even think I'm not a fan of the former President Mohammed Buhari. Of course, all of us know Buhari was a disaster for Nigeria. We are not idealists. I've written several on it, even why he was in power. He was a disaster for Nigeria. But there's one thing we don't take away when it comes to leadership in this country. Previous administration will come, the next one that will come will do worse than what the other one has done. So I'm not expecting, if you want to look at the trend, the best president we have had is former President Olusegun Obasanjo. The best economic thing we have had in this country is under former President Olusegun Obasanjo. After him, of course, President Jonathan was there. He was a weak leader, but he tried. Buhari came and became a total disaster to Nigeria. And we're all feeling it. Now, President Tinubu is here. We pray it doesn't also be a disaster to us. But I can assure you one thing, that apart from former President Olusegun Obasanjo, other conservative governments have done work. So I don't want to be on the path of becoming a pessimist. I want to be an optimist.
All right, let's shift focus now to the next story. The next story also. All right, thank you so much for that. Now, the next story also still talks about some of the challenges that the ordinary Nigerians are actually faced with right now. And it's so sad, extremely sad, that the cost of sachet water, popularly known as pure water in the country, has skyrocketed. And what we used to buy, a product we used to buy for just 5 naira per sachet, now goes as high as 50 naira per sachet, and a bag of sachet water sells for 500 naira, 400 naira, 600 naira, and I even learned that some area they say 1,000 naira for a bag. Now, what would you say is responsible for this hike in the cost of ordinary sachet water? Although most Nigerians are now saying that since they can't afford sachet water, which is not a luxury to them, they are now shifting focus to borehole water, which some are saying is highly unhealthy and highly unhygienic. How do you react to this situation?
You say it is a failure of total governance. How on earth in this 21st century we are still talking about water. That's what the popular music star, Fela, told us that, they say they will give us water. Water that is a natural gift that God has given to us. So it is a total failure of governance. You have a Minister of Agriculture and Water Resources. What stops these people of giving Nigerians, even if you want to say word to word or local government to local government, in partnership with government, giving them borehole, water system? Do we need at this point in the century to be thinking of pure water, or which is popularly called as water in this 21st century? Why is African? Why have we put ourselves in this kind of embarrassment before the world? At this stage, we are not talking about pure water. It is sad commentary.